Hi y'all, joyful Saturday. I wanted to come up here yesterday because now it's past 12 o'clock to show y'all my hair. I did a little braid out. It came out a little wonky, I'm not gonna lie. The ends were bent a little bit and it wasn't as full as I wanted it to be, but I still have not perfected my braid out yet. But I did my braid out because I was celebrating my 1 year being free. And y'all probably like, free from what? What's going on? So around a year ago, yesterday, I became free from numerology, mysticism, and divination. And some of y'all probably heard of numerology, but it's pretty much believing that numbers have meanings. And that was my life. I would have what started off as like 2 numbers with meanings became 6 numbers, and they really controlled what I ate, what I wore, what I where I went, who I talked to, so much in my life. And hold on, my nose running. It became so bad that I wasn't eating. I was scared to eat because I would see these numbers on food. I was scared. I would be scared to go places because I would see these numbers on license plate on the way to going to where I was going. I would be scared to talk to people because when I would be talking to people, I would see these numbers and I'll be like, okay, God, don't want me to talk to this person no more. It got really bad. I had one number that meant something good and then one number that meant something bad. And it really, really controlled my life. I will try to give y'all an example with the butterfly. So say you just got a new car, and as soon as you get that new car, you see a white butterfly, right? And you're like, okay, this is a cute butterfly. And then you get a pay raise at work. And then as you're talking to your friend about your pay raise, you look outside and you see a white butterfly. And then you also go outside and you walk outside and you find $30 on the floor and you see a white butterfly. So you're gonna be like, every time something good happens to me, I see a white butterfly. So when you see white butterflies, you go think something good is going to happen. So then say your grandmother is sick and you see a blue butterfly, and then you get in a car accident, you see a blue butterfly, and then you hear bad news, you see a blue butterfly. So then you start to say, okay, every time something bad is happening, I see a blue butterfly. So what happens when you see blue butterflies all the time? You're going to think that something bad is going to happen or something bad is happening. So that's pretty much was my life. I would see the bad number every day. I would see the bad number, and it wasn't just like a number 1. It's like a 332 or 223. 332 was the bad number and 223 was the good number. I'm giving you an example. So I would see 332 on food. So I'm throwing that food away. I'm seeing 332 when I'm on the way to go talk to my friend. So when I'm talking to my friend, I'm thinking like, what is she about to say that's bad? It's making me very critical of people. And then I'm like, this is probably God saying I need to cut her off. So I'm always not talking to people. I'm cutting people off. I'm distancing myself from people. I'm really losing my mind, losing weight because I'm not eating for real. Numbers are everywhere. So really wasn't eating for real. Will always think that God is telling me to fast. And if you don't eat, y'all know we got sheep. A sheep can't rest if they're not like feeling safe. If you're not eating and don't have the energy that you need, then you become delirious and you don't feel safe, like, because you're not healthy, you're not all the way there. And so that was my life. And it wasn't until God kind of really let me fall down. Like, I passed out. My husband, he picked me up, he took me to urgent care. Urgent care was closed, and so he just set me next to a lake because I passed out because I wasn't eating. So he just sat down next to me and he was just there. He wasn't saying too much, he was just there. And I think that night he just tried to get me to eat something because I was still like, no, I'm okay, I don't need to eat. Like, I was still scared to eat. And so that happened in, I think, June of last year. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just try to start eating slowly add stuff, and I would be wearing a head wrap, looking like a head wrap all the time. And Finally, in October, I decided to get baptized. But even when I got baptized, I was still into numerology. I remember after getting baptized, I went to Chipotle. I was pregnant and I was still scared to eat because I saw certain numbers and I was just like so scared to eat that food. And so a couple of weeks after I got baptized, my sister and her friend had a Bible study. And we were supposed to read through from the book of James, but I ended up talking. I was like, yeah, when I go to the store, I said something like this. When I go to the store, God talks to me. He tells me what to get or what not to get by sending me numbers. And my sister's friend, shout out Marissa, she was like, I was actually reading about that today. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And then she told me about Colossians. I'm going to read some of chapter 2 to you. It says, therefore, no one is to act as your judge in regard to food or drink, or in respect to a festival, or a new moon, or a Sabbath day, things which are a mere shadow of what is to come, but the substance belongs to Christ. Let no one keep defrauding you of your prize. Because I was getting tossed every which way, defrauded, lied to by these numbers. Of your prize by delighting in self-abasement and the worship of the angels. I never called the numbers angel numbers. I was like, no, angel numbers are new age. I'm not calling it that. This is not that. This is God. But my friend said same thing, different font. I think that's cute. But the devil been doing this for a long time, y'all. So it says, let no one keep defrauding you of your prize by delighting in self-abasement and the worship of angels, taking his stand on visions he has seen, inflated without cause by his fleshly mind, and not holding fast to the head, from which the entire body, being supplied and held together by the joints and ligaments, grows with the growth which is from God. Listen to this. If you have died with Christ to the elementary principles of the world, why, as if you are living in the world, do you submit yourself to decrees such as do not handle, do not taste, do not touch? If I show y'all my notes, it has numbers in it that says this number, faith, this number, fear, this number, this is okay to eat. This is not okay to eat. Like, I was literally like, okay, sweet frog is okay to eat. Okay, like literally like that. Wearing clothes if they didn't have certain numbers or if they did have certain numbers. Do not handle, do not taste, do not touch, which all refer to things destined to perish with use in accordance with the commandments and teachings of men. These are matters which have, to be sure, the appearance of wisdom in self-made religion, in self-abasement, in severe treatment of the body, bar of no value against fleshly indulgence. And when I read that, like, the severe treatment of the body stood out to me, and the do not handle, do not taste, do not touch, because that's what it became. Very legalistic, very much, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. This number said I can't do this number means this. It drove me crazy, but it was my everyday life. I was used to it. Like, it was so bad. My body lived in a state of fight or flight to where my hands and feet were always tingling because my body had no rest. I would ask my husband, does your feet tingle? And he'd be like, no, babe, what you talking about? And I looked it up, and it was my body was always in fight or flight. My body was always ready to be on go for something, for fear, And so that's what I celebrated today. I celebrated 1 year. I think it was 1 year, like something close to 1 year of being free from that. And some days, like, I still be seeing those numbers, but I be like, I'm not paying it no attention. I'm not going to give that license plate or that time, because it's just like, oh my goodness, every time I check the clock, it say XXX. Don't pay it no mind. If you're going through this, don't pay it no mind. Pray to God and just trust that everything you need to know is right here in this word, okay? You don't need no other sign. He is who he is in his word. Love y'all. Peace.